guys come up for a story this morning? Wow, lots of you this morning. This is so great. This morning in church we're talking about water and how important water is. And so I went looking for a story about water and I found a really great story that I like, and it's about a little duck named Ruby. It's a story about Ruby, and we're going to meet one of her friends in a minute, but let's hear this story about Ruby. It's called Go For It, Ruby. Once upon a time, upon a nest, beside a lake, there lived a family of ducks. A mother duck, a father duck, and 5 young ducklings. The smallest duckling was called Ruby. And while her brothers and sisters were always in a hurry, Ruby took things slowly, in her own time. See the butterfly on Ruby's nose? You have to be moving pretty slow to get a butterfly to land on your nose. One afternoon, Ruby was exploring the edge of the lake when she spotted Errol. This is Errol. And Errol wears a helmet because he gets himself into trouble sometimes. Errol was a young gosling struggling among the reeds. "Fluff and feathers," cried Errol. "I'm stuck." "Would you like some help?" asked Ruby. "Yes, please," said Errol. See, he's stuck in the reeds. Can't get out. Ruby carefully pushed back the stems and Errol wriggled free. "What were you doing?" asked Ruby. "I'm trying to find the golden pool," said Errol. Ruby gasped. She had heard stories of the golden pool. It was a mysterious place, hidden somewhere near the lake. "Why do you think the pool is here?" she whispered. "Because I've searched everywhere else," said Errol. "I just have to get through these reeds," grunted Errol, charging back into the stems. He's charging back into the reeds. "Are you sure that's the best way?" asked Ruby. "What other way is there?" asked Errol. "Sometimes," explained Ruby, "it's best to stop and think. Let me show you." Errol followed Ruby as she swam slowly through the winding reeds, looking carefully around her. "There," she said, as a fat fish swam across their path. "He seems to know his way around. Let's follow him." Ruby and Errol followed the fish down a narrow waterway that twisted back and forth between the tall reeds. See the little waterway in the reeds? "Flies and frogs pond," cried Errol impatiently. "This doesn't lead anywhere." "It must lead somewhere," insisted Ruby. But just as Ruby was beginning to think Errol might be right, the waterway opened out into a wide pool roofed with blossom-filled branches. Slim shafts of sunlight cast beautiful patterns onto the surface of the water. They had found the golden pool. Isn't that cool? "Beaks and bills," cried Errol, darting out into the middle. "We found it! We found it!" Ruby followed after him slowly and quietly. It was the most beautiful place she'd ever seen. But then she spotted something odd. A scattering of blossoms fell upon the water, drifted quickly across the surface, then vanished at the side of the pool. What happened there? Ruby wondered, swimming over to take a closer look. By the time she saw the waterfall, it was almost too late. "Stop!" cried Ruby as Errol darted past her. "It's a waterfall. If we get too close, we'll be swept over the edge." Uh-oh. But they were already too close, and the water was moving so fast that no matter how hard the two friends paddled, they could not get away. "What are we going to do?" cried Ruby. Just then, a long branch floated past. "Quick!" called Errol. "Hold on to it." Without thinking, Ruby followed Errol and grabbed hold of the branch as it swept towards the edge of the waterfall. At the last moment, the branch caught on the bank, and Ruby and Errol scrambled to safety. "That was brilliant," gasped Ruby. "How did you know the branch would get caught like that?" "I didn't," said Errol. "I just hoped it would." "Sometimes," said Errol, "it's best to stop and think, but sometimes you just have to go for it." The two friends decided it was safer to walk back as far as they could. "Fluff and feathers," said Ruby, when the bank eventually ran out. "It looks like we'll have to swim the last bit." Errol smiled. "Are you sure?" he said. "Sometimes it's best to stop and think." But Ruby had already jumped in and was paddling home. And sometimes, she called back to him, you just have to go for it. I wonder how Ruby and Errol felt when they found the golden pool. I wonder how they felt. Really good?
Because it might have been a legend, so they just proved the legend was true.
Yeah, it might have been a legend and they proved that it actually existed. Yeah. I wonder how they felt when they suddenly thought they might go over the waterfall. Scary, yeah. That would be really scary.
Oh, so scary.
Probably want to just yell. I wonder what happened next.
They went back home to their mom and told them about the golden pool, and then Ruby's sisters were jealous.
They went back home. Ruby told everyone about the golden pool, and her brothers and sisters were jealous. As could be. I wonder if Errol and Ruby stayed friends. I wonder. I think they did too. Well, that's our story, and we're going to sing a really great song about water, about streams and rivers and oceans, called Like a Healing Stream. And so I'd love you to sing that with me, and then you can head off to Children's Church. And we're going to sing this song the way we've done it many times, by beginning very, very softly with the stream and building our volume and our energy up to the mighty ocean, and then back to the stream at the end of the song. Like a healing stream.